Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand up.
Hello friends, and welcome again to another Street Fighter Duel video.
Okay, legends, today we're gonna be doing the assist list and priority list and explanation for the characters that you need to understand about, and I put them in a different categories. I put the SS, which is the most important, and you should always think about investing in these units to get them to SS and have them on the units or on your lineup as an assist. Now imagine this is not a tier list for characters, this is a tier list for the assist abilities of the characters. It means the +5 of them. If you cannot use them on the main lineup, you're not able to use them, or you should not use them on only you have a restriction of using them as an assist. This is how good they are, and this is the table that we did. Big shout out to everybody who helped me with. I will not mention them, they're over 15 people, so I'm not gonna go one by one, but big thank you to this community, absolutely fantastic. We went through SS, S, A, and B because of the priority and the technicality of their usage and how we use them more often and how they are used. And we went and described the defensive and the immunities plus the healing units and the trigger special units and the stats units. The stats are the one that are the lowest tier if you want to talk about it. The trigger is only for trigger characters. The healing is only for healing and for regeneration, and we'll be talking about that. The defensive for defensive and immunities. Others are for technicalities. We'll be talking about the technicalities and for the things that they put in the game, and we'll be talking about it. Starting with the SS now, we have Eva Ryu and we have Guy, same position. I wouldn't change, I would put Guy here or I would put Eva Ryu at the start. Both of them are absolutely fantastic. They buff damages until the end of the battle, and with Guy you stack it for 3 stacks until the end of the battle. Absolutely phenomenal characters that will make the unit that is assisted dealing even more damage. Mayor Cody, one of the greatest buffers in the game as well, because he buffs, he goes through duel with the highest attack unit, even if it's a boss, if it's an enemy in PvP or in story, and will give you 15% damage bonus until the end of the battle, or when you defeat it in story mode or in PvP, you're gonna get more bonus attack on Mayor Cody as an assist, meaning increasing his stats and giving more stats to your assisted character. Rose, another unit that will always be good for you. It gives you 4 tarot cards, and the 4 cards are different, something for crit, something for attack, something for defensive, for regeneration, which is absolutely great. And then when you accumulate the 4 stacks or the 4 cards, she will give you 10% of her attack, which will enable you to deal even more damage, survive a lot, and deal more crits. Fire or Fei Long. Fei Long is specifically for fire and burn teams. Now I wouldn't put him on SS if it was biased to me, but I got the list like this. I'm talking about it. This is how we are using it and where they are used and how much they are used and how effective they are. So I wouldn't change it. I will just comment on it and tell you my point of view. Because he's only catered to fire, I will put him 1 tier down, 1 tier below. But because the fire is now the main component or the best lineup for bossing, and we use him also on story, and he's one of the best assists. You can use him on your main lineup, but talking about assist, he's one of the best assists on the fire because he buffs 15% of fire and burn and flame damage to the enemy lineup, which is absolutely fantastic. If the unit survives, the assisted fighter keeps surviving. Water Chun-Li or the Wind Chun-Li or the legendary Chun-Li, absolutely great with her stacks. She gives you the stacks until the end of the battle. Now the protection stacks are absolutely phenomenal. It's just like Able Shields, but better than Able Shields. How is that? She will buff your damages with every stack that you have, up to 3 stacks. The circle, it's called the circle of protection or protection of circle. Whenever you get direct damage or hit, she removes 1 of the stacks and negate the damages, which will keep you alive until the end of the battle. Better than any kind of immunities that you would have on any character in the game. Better than Bison assist on like immunity. Better than Luke assist on immunity. Better than Virgil assist on immunity. Because it's not only 1 time, it's 3 times, and it can regenerate and regenerate every time you do your combos. Absolutely phenomenal. Now Chief Viper is one of the absolute damage buffers in the game. Very, very good damage buffer. She's specifically damages, improve your damages just by 3 stacks. I think it goes up to, I think 30% if I'm not mistaken. You might correct me on that. Absolutely crazy. Similar to her, which is the other Viper, Vipers are really great in this game, except the normal Viper. We'll be talking about her later. She also buffs damages and absolutely great. Dhalsim, Trendy Dhalsim. Why I put Trendy Dhalsim up there? Now, I told you there's 3 major things in this game that you need to focus on that are very trendy and very good for your lineups. The first one is damage reduction. The second one is combo meter. Combo meter is absolutely insane. And then we have the buffings, which we're talking about them. This is why they're on SS rank. Trendy Dhalsim, he will give you over time a little bit of combo meter, and you will accumulate combo meter until the end of the battle. Similar for him, Divination. Rose, which will give you spark every time or every 5 seconds or stuff like that. She will give you more combo meter, absolutely phenomenal. Yan and Yang, they will drop into the battle whenever you do your combos. Yang, I think when you crit, he will drop into the battle, deal a little bit of damage, give you 60 combo meter, interval time 12 seconds. Similar to him, Young. But Yan is a trigger character, so whenever you do a trigger on the assisted fighter, he drops into the battle, deals a little bit of damage, give you 60 combo meter, and after 12 seconds he does it again, which is absolutely nice. Chun-Li, forever she will be one of the best supportive assist characters in the game because she increases your crit rate, which is something really needed on some characters that we need a little bit of crit rate. Similar to her, Street Poison. Why Street Poison is up there? She's only strictly good for bossing. I would put her in S or on A in my opinion, but because she buffs the damage or the crit damage massively of your character versus one character, it means if you kill the entire enemy in PvP and there's still one character alive, you will deal increasing the crit damage to them. But for versus bossing one singular boss, not multi-bosses, but one singular boss, she will increase the crit damages. They put her up here. I don't agree with this position. I would put her in S, I would put her in A, but I'll keep it for the sake of the video. I will not put her down there. I might drop her a little bit here. Just me personally, I think that she is great actually for bossing, but for all the aspects of the game, she deserves here. But I'll be just skipping her here because crit damage is not buffed by many characters on assist position. Trendy, our Taoist again, absolutely good. He buffs defensively, offensively, absolutely crazy, really good. The life steal from Witch Jury, we've seen her on many core lineups, and she's a must now to play on assist for some lineups to keep surviving the characters. We see her working with Fire Adon and Visconde Vega. Gormagala can, without having him on his lineup, you can apply his curse by having him on the assist target character, but you need to start with a super combo. Trendy Akuma, absolutely perfect. Also similar to him, Guile, because he gives the sabers, he buffs the attack, and 3 stacks of demon with Nero that you get by the game. You get 3 stacks and it goes every 8 seconds, I think, but every time you do the rotation, you're gonna get the stacks, and the stacks of demon is absolutely great for your team and will increase your damages. Schoolgirl Elena, absolutely crazy and fantastic also with her buffs, and we're seeing her on many lineups. Now, of course, everybody who built these characters or purchased them, they're using them, and it will help you a lot, but they're seeing more and more on lineups as an assist, more and more, especially Nero right now, he's on assist, more and more. Schoolgirl Elena on assist, more and more we see her. Similar for normal Chun-Li, which we used to use them on main lineup. Rose, we use her on main lineup. Now we've seen her that she's more used on assist. Whoever bought Chun-Li, they're using her on assist because her assist is absolutely broken. One of the broken assists in the game because you almost never die with her because of her protection. Now, the turtles. We put the turtles here. The explanation was because their buffs are great for other characters, but with them, for each other, you can buff Donatello, Leonardo, Raphael, and Michelangelo with their other partners from the TMNT, and it will make them more stable, and you can go with them. Now, they're paired to win characters, but if you build them, if you're free to play and you've been saving for a while, and you listen to hazing and you saved all your tickets and you summoned them all the set that you have them with them, you can play them however you want. Absolutely fantastic. One of the great buffers on assist in the game, defensively and offensively, is Makoto. Yes, everybody were not understanding how Makoto works. Makoto, she's absolutely perfect for buffing and for self-sustaining the assisted target or the assisted unit. Absolutely crazy. Jury is still good. I wouldn't say she's as high as the rest. I agree with that. But she's still good with her attack buff that she will give you a bit by bit into the battle. And if it's a long battle, you're gonna generate a lot of attack buff on her. Mad Ryu, for the units that drop below 50%, he will give them 20% of his attack bonus, I guess, 20% maybe, if I'm correct. I forgot, I didn't read, this is off my memory, so I'm thinking about it. Poison, I agree with her position. I would highly put her up here, but I will keep her down here because I want to respect this list because I agree with everything that they did. Except for her, I don't know, because she's only in bossing, single bossing, and we have a lot of double bossing. But I'll keep Poison here. Poison, if you're using any unit that does shock on the targets or on the enemies, which we have a lot, like Trendy, Cammy, we have Viper, we have other units that does shock, she can do her Crescent Wave, and in PvP it's super helpful. In story mode, it's super helpful because you have a chance to silence your enemies and continue, and it deals damage, the Crescent Wave actually, and in bossing it helps a little bit. Zangief for buffing the speed. I know it's not something major right now, we can use fast chant, we can use faster heroes, but if you want to play him on assist position, this is how you can use him, and he's good, it's decent. Summer Ibuki, same way, also for speed and increasing speed. Again, absolutely fantastic for Viper, for countering Viper, countering Akuma, for countering anything for backlines. We've seen him now with a lot of events, the events that target backline heroes as well. Absolutely great. And his assist with the Shadow Clone, it might add a little bit of damage, which is really, really great. Now, for the A ranks, Dan, Psycho Dan, absolutely good, but it's super RNG because he can give you 1 of 4 available buffs. It depending on you, so you need to make a lot of runs so you can get the attack buff if you want it, or the defensive, or the recovery rate, or whatever you want from him. Really good, solid actually, because all of his buffs are great. Now, Visconde Vega, why is Visconde Vega in A? I didn't put him in F tier or only stats, because the bleed that he provides on the enemy when you do your... it doesn't stack up, this is the problem about it, but the bleed stays until the end of the battle. It's not the big bleed that he does actually, it's the normal bleed, but it does true damage, and it's until the end of the battle, and does not exceed his max attack of his 30% of his max attack or something like that, which is still good because it adds a lot of damage numbers to the assisted fighter or to the fight in general. Trendy Cammy also situational, because if you're doing shock, she will have a chance to deal more shock if you're doing thunder damage, which is really good. Fashion Blanca, defensively, offensively, he will give you the buff, but the percentage of it's so low, so you might have it, you might not have it. It's RNG, but when it happens, it will add numbers. T-Hawk, one of the characters that will help you, enable you to dispel something like silence, like stun, like freeze, or something like that, but you need to click the combo, get frozen, and he drops, so the interval time is really a little bit complicated and small. Bison, Overlord Bison, it's great actually when you take fatal damage, and you can avoid dying when you take fatal damage on the assisted fighter by having somebody like Gouken on the lineup, or using Virtual EX or something like that, that will keep you alive, but you already took a damage that will give you fatal damage, so he will do his explosion, and his explosion with his C2, which is gathering everybody and dealing damage, so his assist is basically his C2 and an explosion, which is really massive. This is why he is used here, but it happens only one time. This is why it's not up in the higher tier list. Cammy, I would agree she's here. I would put her up here a little bit, but she's the best trigger target for trigger characters as an assist, because every time they trigger, every time she drops, every time she apply armor break, so you're gonna have the 10 armor break stacks until the end of the battle if you continue back to back with your attacks, which is really great. Flame Adon, we're never gonna use him as an assist. If you're only using him as an assist, if you didn't build him, he will increase the flame damage, which is really good. Flame Chun, she will give you flame penetration. Jinin Ibuki, I think she will give you the Rin, To, Sho, Sha, Ya, something like that. One of them is attack buff, one of them is crit rate, one of them is defensive, one of them is healing rate, something like that. So it's RNG as well, just like Psycho Dan. So this is, and she's legendary, so this is why we put her here. Fashion Can absolutely was good actually on the release as an assist as well, because he buffs bleed, I think, and burn. If you deal, or he applies, burn and bleed. So he buffs them. Really good, situational as well. So you don't need to go through it. Now, on the B rank, which is very situational, and we'll talk about it. So Oni, whenever an enemy dies or an ally dies, you gain more attack and more buffs on your lineup, which is in bossing, it might help by the end of the fight. But in PvP, it's good, I would say, because you're gonna kill more targets, you're gonna buff the character, or some targets on your lineup might die, and the buff that you gain from him might help you, but very situational. Same for Guile. Situational, you need to do ranged attacks so you can gain sabers from him and increase your attack. Dhalsim, his dot actually, his damage, because whenever you do a super, he drops and do his fireball, and I think he does a little bit of damage, burn damage, which is really good, but it's situational as well. It's not the biggest damage that, it's good actually for an assist to deal damage that like Dhalsim, but it's not that massive. Sagat, really good damages actually from his assist position if you're dealing shock damage actually, and that's it. Akron DiCaprio, also situational. You can use her as well. I don't think investing in Sagat to use him in assist will be a necessary. I mean, it's good if you're using him on Viper, if you're using him on Street or on Poison, he will help a little bit, but I think for him as an assist, it's niche for a monster character like him. Mummy Dhalsim, if you die, like the best scenario is playing him on assist and playing Gen on assist, and when the shadow clone of Gen dies, he will trigger, I think, or the character when he dies, if he's assisting him, also will trigger and will inflict poison on your enemies, which is not the best one, but it will help a little bit in PvP, I think, or in story mode if you're gonna finish that last character with one character available on your team. Dante, whenever the assisted fighter dies, he will stun the target that killed the assisted fighter for 3 seconds or 5 seconds, which is very niche actually. For Seth, he will increase the effect accuracy of all your units. He's good actually, increasing as an assist, but it's situational, just increasing, let's say, fire or bleed or armor break or something like this. The effect accuracy, it means you apply the dots or the effects more consistently. Kami and Vega, also niche. Guy, also niche because he will increase pressure and crit if you kill an enemy, especially in PvP or story, so this is why I use him here. Also Blanca, it's a little bit niche if he gives you the shield and a small percentage to give you electric shock, which is okay by me, but it's a little bit not that good. You can use them for stats as well, but mainly they do, and yeah, they're not the biggest. So let's talk about defense and immunity. So Abel is the best defensive option. Next to him is Sakura. I would say Sakura, I would say Abel, it doesn't matter. Sakura can give you every 12 seconds a little bit of immunity so you can survive on the lineup. He, every 8 seconds, I think he gives you a shield. The shield blocks a massive hit, whatever it is. The best immunity or the best survivor one, which is Virgil. Virgil will not let you get below 1 HP. Even if they bypass immunity, they can't bypass his immunity. It means whatever unit is taking fatal damage, they will survive on 1 HP, and they can't no unit can bypass it. Great also for, why is Luke better than Bison? Luke, when you trigger his passive or his assist and you get the immunity, you can heal and regenerate after that. But with Bison, you can't regenerate or heal after that except by your own lifesteal, and sometimes you don't have lifesteal, so this is the problem with Bison. Gouken, big thick shield, plus defensively he buffs you, plus offensively he buffs you. His assist is really good. For Rich Honda, the buffs, what you get is a permanent undispellable shield from Honda, big shield actually, but also it doesn't give you a buff, this shield, defensively or offensively. Every time you get crit, Summer Yang will give you a shield. Honda will reduce the damage by 8% for the entire team. For one character, Zangief and Balrog will reduce the damages taken. Also defensively buff you with Wrestling Hugo. And DJ, you're gonna get also defensive buffs from him whenever you take damage, and you will get a shield, I think, as well. For healing, the best one to heal, let's talk about it. It's Nishiki Sakura. Why is that? Because she will give you also a defensive buff on top of extra healing. Heals, heal rate, heals, heal rate, and heals if you dispel and debuff. All of them around healing, so you need a healer on your team actually, so the assist of them will buff the healing. So these are the available assists for healing buffs. I would say until Suit Able or until Summer Elena, all of these as an assist are great. The others are situational a little bit. Maybe him, I would put him here with them, but let's keep the list as is. For trigger buffs, so these characters work with trigger units. You can put them on top of trigger units and they will buff the trigger damage of them, or they will buff their trigger stats. So any trigger unit, you can slap Baddest Jury, you can slap Sakura, or the new Ibuki, or Banquet Kami, and all of them will help you with that. For stats, this is what we're gonna talk. It doesn't matter. mean that they will not do anything to you, all of these characters. They will give you different qualities in assist. But the biggest thing for them is giving you stats. So Akuma with his fireball that he drops, it deals some damage. It's not that big, but the stats that he gives you are really great because he's a character that is already initially have big stats. Similar for him is Viper. Viper damages is better than him actually. She drops into the field, does a seismic toss, and deals a lot of damage, more than his damage. For him, he can dispel buffs from the bosses or from the enemies, but for bosses, mainly bosses that we fight, we can't dispel their buffs. So this is why he is used as stat-wise. He applies a little bit of bleed. His bleed does not contribute bigger than the damages that Viper or Akuma does. This is why his bleed is only, it's a little bit of time, it fades away until you do the extra rotation and you get bleed again on the target. Sagat, whenever the target dies, he will give you a clone of him, which is not important because it doesn't do anything. He has big stats, so using him as stat on your characters, if you want somebody to buff their attack and defense and HP, the main stats, he's a big buffer actually if using him, if you max him out. Dudley similar, Charming Dudley also, he increases dodge. This one reduces the heals from the enemies, but it's also not that big. If they heal for 100, they will fully heal. This is how the enemies work. DiCaprio, their damages are not that good, and she can't execute from assist. We tried early game, she does. Late game, she never does. He's useless, and he's useless as well for as an assist because it's 10%. This is the worst for Rufus. It's the worst assist in the game because it's only 10%, and you need 10 stacks of his cold to apply freeze on a unit, which is very, very bad done in my opinion. And yeah, that was it for the list for the assists. Let me know how you think about this list. Do you think that you agree with the list that the people did? And I agree with it. I absolutely agree. Other than her, I would not put her in SS. Maybe she's in SS, I can't see it. I did test her before and she didn't give me crit damage, good numbers. But she still works versus one unit for entire lineup. To put her as an assist, I think it's just unfair. And yeah, that was it for the video.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, we thank you for watching. And as always, stay frosty. Peace.
Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up.